New York acting cannabis chief says changes made in the wake of the OGS report, and I just read that as OG's report, but it's just how it looks, but nonetheless. The acting chief of the state's Office of Cannabis Management has started to impose changes in the troubled department. Now more than 90 days since the State Office of General Services released a report that showed deep inefficiencies with the agency. The May 10th report found that the department failed to grant cannabis business licenses to 90% of applicants and other issues in the agency's structure and communication habits, which led to the ouster of former executive director Chris Alexander. Governor Kathy Hochul appointed OCM Executive Deputy Director Felicia Reed to lead the agency while the executive chamber conducts a national search to select a permanent replacement. And Reed accepted the task to serve in both roles, ready to make changes. In a quote, "At the end of the day, this agency is a regulatory agency and it needs to just work," Reed said during an exclusive interview Thursday with Capitol Tonight. "It's not just me. It's not just you. It's all of us. And so we've got to make this work," she says. The past spring, Hochul directed OGS Commissioner Jeanette Moy to assess issues with OCM after calling the rollout of the state's cannabis industry a disaster. After taking them to the helm back in June 10th, Reed held several meetings with senior OCM staffers, lawmakers, and other stakeholders about department gaps, including a shortage of staff and need for improved communication. Reed said she has focused on restructuring staff to focus on their skill set after learning of widespread disorganization within the agency, which is less than 3 years old. In a quote, "It's a process," she said. "When I came to the agency, folks had fingers in every single pie, and I'm like, this can't work for any of you on a daily basis," she says. OCM also needed more robust auditing practices, she said, and the department had a history of providing little direction to staff as the industry took shape. In a quote, "People thrive when they have a sense of what to expect and what the rules are, and when those expectations and rules are even-handedly applied," Reed added. "There wasn't a whole lot of that, I got the sense, before," she says. The report gave OCM recommendations to implement over 3- and 6-month periods, including building up staff and licensing operations and improving internal and external communication to unclog the application bottleneck. And Reed said the department continues to be woefully understaffed with 180 workers, but is hiring 65 more people. The department will soon have a direct contact for license applicants, and the OCM has open positions to hire customer service representatives who will help the general public, you guys. In a quote, "A state agency can talk all day about what it is, but if the folks that we serve and work with have a completely different experience, then that is what sort of leads," Reed said. The acting OCM leader said the hiring process will take many months, with dozens of applications coming in from candidates in the public and private sectors. And last month, Reed held a Zoom call with lawmakers who make up the Senate Cannabis Subcommittee. And on all of these calls, Chair Senator Jeremy Cooney, a Democrat from Rochester, said the call showed Reed is serious about OCM building a stronger relationship with the legislature, and says in a quote, "There's a lot of hope and optimism that the new leadership at OCM will be able to kind of course correct, but I think the proof is going to be in the pudding," he said on Thursday. "We want to make sure that the changes that are being made are aligned with that report recommendations," the OGS highlighted. And she recently met with Cannabis Associations of New York President Damian Cornwell, who owns the Birmingham dispensary Just Breathe. Cornell said Reed understands New Yorkers expect accountability as state leaders rebuild the OCM, and in a quote says, "I think that right now the OCM and the second floor are working hard to renew that trust that they maybe had coming in the front door when the industry started," Cornell said. Reed also spearheaded a shift within the department's process to evaluate and approve adult use retail licenses after widespread confusion from applicants, and the department will assign caseworkers to review each adult use retail license application that thousands of New Yorkers submitted last November and December. And department staff will continue to evaluate about 600 applications that remain in the randomized queue from the November group, though through early next year, Reed said. Afterward, applications in the December queue will continue to be evaluated on a rolling basis. And Representative with Hochul's office would not answer questions about the executive chamber's ongoing search to hire a new OCM leader, including how many people have been interviewed or when a decision will be made. In a quote, they say, in June, Governor Hochul announced a nationwide search for a permanent executive director to lead the Office of Cannabis Management. Hochul spokesperson Cassie White said in a statement, the Hochul administration is conducting its search diligently to ensure New York's cannabis industry remains the strongest and most equitable in the nation. I can't believe that she thinks it's the strongest, but whatever. Reed has indicated she is not interested to be in the running to be OCM's next leader, but Thursday she said she could be open to the idea with the proper coaxing from Hochul's office. That means there's some kickbacks involved.
Money.
Like, yeah. In a quote says, I know that Chamber is looking at all of its options, and again, I remain open to the persuasion, Reed said. Open to the persuasion? Oh, man, this just sounds so corrupt right now in New York, and I can't believe that they think that they have such an amazing market going on. I mean, someone needs to open these people's eyes and give them a dose of reality, but nonetheless, this is Jason Beck for the High at 9 News Hour. What do y'all have to say about this?
I hope they get it
I
together.
mean, they do have an amazing. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I hope they get it together, and I hope Reed just doesn't end up being the next scapegoat. This whole thing's been a mess from the beginning, and this has a lot of shades of Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, they do have an amazing market going on. The OCM's not a part of any of it, but they do actually have an amazing market going on. I mean, I think they need to scrap the whole office. Like, I don't know, finger and pies, whatever they're doing over there. Like, they don't know what they're doing, and they clearly have tasked people with regulating this market that know nothing about it and don't understand how to properly regulate what they're supposed to be looking after. I mean, look at the licensure process. Look at everything that's going on. Look at this ridiculous cat and mouse, Tom and Jerry-esque, we're going to shut down the bodega shop situation. Like, sorry, you're fired.
Yeah, it's a lot of masquerading that they're doing, that they're trying to do the right thing, and nothing's really happening. Alexander got a bad hand, and they blamed everything on him. Kathy Hochul ended up blaming like Cuomo and his people when she hired everybody, and like this goes all the way up to the top. Like, I don't see it. I don't see anything getting fixed anytime. I don't see anything getting fixed in anytime soon. And I think this is just going to sow more discord within the entire OCM. So it's sad. Yeah,
agreed.
But, good luck to Reed.
You're absolutely right. You're right. I mean, they're spending more time covering their ass than they are fixing these very, very glaring problems. So I think that, yeah, I agree with you completely, Rico. And it's frustrating, and it's giving LA vibes.
Yeah, too many fingers being pointed and not enough thumbs.
Definitely not enough thumbs, that's for sure. Not in New York. I don't even think they have thumbs in New York. They just got fingers.
They do. They got to open doors with something.
Discount, man. You got to have 5 to get that discount, brother.
Maybe they just came up short. You know what I'm saying? We know there's some missing brain cells over there in that New York office as well.